Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Avashai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Avashai, Brakati Yahweh, Brakati Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh, Bahashim, Racha Kodash. That belongs to the apostles and any elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the old elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. I'm the priest Shaman. This week's topic is going to be responding to truckers boycott driving to New York. All right, so truckers boycott driving to New York. All right, so what inspired this lesson? Well, you had a Trump supporter. He went on social media, and after Trump was fined $355 million for real estate fraud, I think with his Mar-a-Lago property, you know, Trump supporters were pissed and the trucker said, look, man, we're not gonna fucking drive to New York. We're gonna boycott that shit. Now, he's since recanted that, but I was watching the Glenn Beck show. Not watching, I'm sorry. I was looking at a clip from the Glenn Beck show, and Glenn had truckers calling in, and it was saying, you know, he spoke to some, and it was to the effect of one of them said, you know, he asked them, you know, what was your boss's response when you said, you know, you're not going to drive into New York, you're going to boycott it? He said one of his bosses is like, oh, another one. So this dude Donald Trump, man, he has huge supporters because, you know, these so-called white people, they see their crumbling empire and they look at him as a beacon of light, because when he's in power, he does do financially well for America's vested interests. You know, it's less wars. He is a pro-nationalist, and he's a guy that actually does what he says. So a lot of people rock with Trump. But the military-industrial complex, the ones that own the media, they don't want him in there because, you know, war is money, war is profit, right? But I don't want anybody to get it twisted. Left wing, right wing is still the same bird, because even though Trump does go off tangents sometimes, all right, he's still a part of that system. And you know what proves that? When the decree on should people get stabbed up or not, he didn't take the stance of like a Florida, let's say, right? He took a stance of you should get it. So if he's in power, I could see him giving America a false sense of security, fulfilling the book of Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, where they say peace and safety, okay, then sudden destruction. But you know, when that judgment does come down, he's not going to be against it. All right, when I'm talking about that judgment, I'm talking about that C-hip, the RFID microchip being implanted in people, all right, against their will. He's not going to be against it. You know, he's a part of the establishment in that way. Now, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 14, and it reads, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. So destruction, all right, sorrows, this is what's coming to the world and them that dwell therein, because there's going to be a lot of uproar. You know what, too? When that decision does get made, you're going to have a lot of Trump supporters, if he is in office when this takes place, feel betrayed, all right? Because they're going to be like, man, I thought you were pro-America, I thought you were pro-freedom, and now you're standing up for injustice and shit like that. So that's going to also play a big factor into people just saying to hell with the government, right? Like, we can't trust none of these guys. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up a fight against another, and swords in their hands. Now, we don't have, it's not going to be shit. Some people might have actual swords, but swords is just an instrument of destruction. Whether it's a Molotov cocktail or a baseball bat with fucking nails in it, whatever makeshift weapon. A lot of places are going to have makeshift weapons, because in these blue states, it's very hard to get your hands on firearms and have it legally. You know, they make it easier for the criminals, but very hard for people in these blue states to walk around and protect themselves, which goes against their Second Amendment, no? The right to bear arms, right? So people are going to come up with whatever kind of shit they could, stones, whatever they could do to protect their family, because this martial law and this RFID microchip that's going to come soon, all right, is going to have the whole United States divided, you know? And I'll say this, get the oil now, all right? Don't be like the foolish versions that the scriptures speak about, that, you know, waited to the last minute. Get the oil now, because the same way they go on our YouTube and they're deleting videos, anything that mentions, you know, getting stabbed up, and that, you know, that pandemic that happened, they'll delete your video. So how much more so these videos we do when we mention the RFID microchip, they're gonna backtrack them, and anytime they see that word, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna delete all them videos, man. They're gonna go just like they're doing now. They're gonna say, look, we're gonna keep your channel up, but we're gonna be deleting them videos. And they could do that with whatever else they want to do. So the more we get closer to the end, and the more we're bringing out these prophecies and they come to pass, guess what? That oil is gonna be, it's not gonna be so easy to get, man. So now is the time to really lock in and get these scriptures and get these understanding. All right. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, right? Sedition is an uprising or uproar against the government, and this is a form of that. All right, like they're doing economic warfare against New York for something, because one of their, who they see as a leader, got financially hurt. They took it upon themselves to do that. The people took it upon themselves to do that. So we seeing pushback, man. All right, there's a lot of people pushing back, especially in places like where we're at now in New York, where the whole migrant situation, for example, it's like, yo, why are we giving them $1,000 of taxpayer dollars to shop at a deli while our people are struggling? Why are we throwing out money to Ukraine and Israel and all that? Why are we giving billions of dollars to these people, but our infrastructure is suffering? So people are starting to have these sorts of conversations and saying, wait a minute, the people in charge ain't doing shit the right way. It says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. There shall not regard their kings nor princes, right? So that's their cops, their governors, their mayors. It's going to be like The Walking Dead, where people just form small militias, and whoever was the head of that militia was just the leader of his own little camp. You know what I'm saying? That's how shit is going to be out here. And you're not going to be able to trust nobody, you know? People going to be setting each other up. It's going to be like fucking prison, man. I always say that. It's going to be like, just like the prison system, where people caught up in prison, they sort of establish their own little militias and shit like that, and pretty much do things by race and click up that way. It's going to be the same shit when all hell breaks loose out here. It says, and in that day, there ain't going to be no strong, independent woman. These women are going to go right back into their feminine. Watch. That's why the scripture says 7 women should take hold of 1 man. It says, nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Meaning they ain't going to go to jail or get arrested for the shit that they're doing. All right? When all hell breaks loose, there's not going to be no time to try people and put them to no goddamn judicial system. All right? Because the cops are going to be worried about protecting their own families, man. It's going to be complete chaos, man. It's going to be just like how you see in the movies when shit go crazy. All right? That's the sort of evil that the Lord is going to bring upon this land. All right? It says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right? So they, just like that scene in I Am Legend, they wanted to get over their bridge and they can't. Now you got a place like Manhattan out here in New York, where it's a lot of people there in a small area, right? A very, very small little island, okay, surrounded by bridges. So if them bridges get blocked off, imagine everybody trying to leave Manhattan and Queens and Brooklyn all at once. Hell, the Bronx is the only one that's actually connected to land. All them other shits got bridges. So if everybody's trying to evacuate all at once, and it's complete chaos, and you got UN troops and Gurga troops and all these different try to maintain stuff, it's gonna be complete wild west shit going on, man. You know, it's gonna be wild. People are not gonna know what to fucking do, and the Most High is gonna have these things come like labor pains for a woman, very sporadic, one crazy shit after the next, and the whole time the so-called white man is gonna be what, trying to issue his own solution. All right, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Right? So that's why the Lord has to humble this fucking place, man. Because of their pride. All right? The few, the proud, the Marines, and nobody could take us down, and America's the greatest, and I'm gonna do this in 2023 and 2027, and predicting this. And look, man, the Lord could send judgment at any fucking moment, man. All right, and humble a place at any moment. And we're telling you, we're in the stages where that could happen at any moment, man. All right. Again, 2020, man, was a pivotal year, because it shows you just how quickly they could shut shit down and have you in your home. See what I'm saying? So The Lord could have anything happen. That's why we have to be the watchman in the tower and be ready and constantly do videos and warn people and just tell you, look, keep your mind ready for these things to come. No matter how fucking annoyed they get with us and you've been saying the same thing for years, who gives a shit, man? So did Noah. All right, we're gonna keep saying it until it comes to pass, Lord will, because that's what the prophets do. Or until the Most High say, look, man, we can't do it no more. All right, meaning it's just gonna be too crazy to be out there to teach and shit like that. And that's going to come to pass. Amos 8:11 speaks about the famine of the word, right? Not a famine of bread, but of hearing the word of the Most High. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, right? It's going to be kill or be killed. But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So, them truckers that's boycotting, yo, New York is gonna feel that, man. New York is gonna feel that shit, man. It doesn't take that long to run out of food supplies, man. So when all hell is breaking loose, and there ain't gonna be no truckers, no foods coming in, them grocery stores are gonna get bought up in a second, man. Them stores are gonna get empty and people are gonna get hungry after a while, man. It's gonna be fucking crazy, man. It's gonna be like a time that we have never seen before. And in that day, you want to make sure you're right with the Most High. You want to make sure you have the oil, all right? Hey, if brothers got a little shit stashed to the side, some canned goods or whatever, ain't nothing wrong with that. Just in that day, hope you buy that when that stuff comes to pass. Because you may or may not be. But even if you're not buy it, guess what? Psalms 34:7, the Most High has a hedge around you anyway if you're serving the Lord. So, you know, it says, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So that's what the hell is coming, man. All right, and you can see that this dude Donald Trump, he could have a lot of people support him. All right, now they manipulated what happened with the Capitol riots, because some people they didn't tear no shit down. That was all a psyop. All right, that was a psyop to make it look like, you know, because they don't want that dude in there. All right, they don't want him back up in there. But guess what? He got great support. He has a lot of support, and I think he's gonna get back in. And if he gets back in, so it's gonna, you know, they're gonna do crazy shit tonight to make his term a living hell. And it's gonna be crazy, man. We have a lot to look forward to in 2024, man. All right, so hey, let's see what else keeps going, man. But and we're gonna stay updated with this whole, you know, trucker strike situation. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashim Rakak, double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the most truth and sincerity. All right, Shalom.